The Outstanding Senior or Retired Interpreter Award is presented to an NAI member and lifelong interpreter no longer working full-time, but maybe working part-time or as a volunteer in the profession, and who has dedicated their entire career to interpretation. And this year's recipient is Tony Ingraham. Tony retired in 2005 after an exemplary career with the New York State Parks. However, he continues to work tirelessly to interpret and promote the astounding beauty of upstate New York. In retirement, he serves as an interpreter for Ithaca Boat Tours and Cayuga Lake Floating Classroom. He has not only conducted frontline interpretation, but also developed training materials and presented training sessions, thereby influencing a new generation of interpreters, even from retirement. Tony also has embraced television. Since 2006, he's produced a weekly 30-minute public access TV show that highlights and interprets the natural history of the Finger Lakes region. His show is entitled Walk in the Park, and to date has created an astounding 140 episodes and counting. In addition to TV, Tony is an award-winning writer, having authored several books that interpret the Finger Lakes region. Tony aptly self-describes himself as a compulsive interpreter and an interpreter for life, and we couldn't agree more. So for a lifetime of service and a commitment to excellence, I'm proud to award you the 2016 Outstanding Senior Retired Interpreter Award.
Well, we're down here in Tex-Mex country, so La Jubilación. Some people know what that means. La Jubilación. What does it mean? Interpreters. Not what many of you think. It means retirement. Seriously. And the word, the cognate for retire in Spanish is retirar, which means draw back or pull back. So they didn't choose that one, but we did. Why? So I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to change my venue. And I went out from land to a boat. And for 10 years, from May through October, I worked on an interpretive tour boat and learned a whole new ecological and geographic venue that was the other side of the world in the same place. There's a man named Liberty Hyde Bailey. I'm just going to share a couple of thoughts from people in the past. Liberty Hyde Bailey founded the New York State College of Agriculture, which is now called the New York State College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Cornell University. Cornell University, which is in Ithaca, New York, was New York's land-grant university. And he wrote that a model for life, at least as he saw it, a life maybe living 75 years. I hope I live a little longer than that, but you never know. You spend the first 25 years getting ready for your career and your adult life. You spend the next 25 years doing your career, and then you spend the next 25 years doing what you want. Probably based on your career, but you're freed up to maybe do some amazing things. So my TV show is one of those things. And also, I recognize that I'm running out of decades here, So I better be really faithful to what is most important to me and what my heart says to do, and start shedding some of those things that are like, hey, gee, you're retired. We need somebody on this board. Well, I still do that, but I shed a few of them. They were good experiences. Okay, so Joseph Campbell said, of course, follow your bliss. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Still busy, still doing interpretation, because I feel that's my destiny. That's a very big piece of who I am. And NAI is a very big piece of who I am. And you folks in this organization, and I was in the Association of Interpretive Naturalists in the 80s, and then kept going. And you folks and this organization I really embraced, because you've given me knowledge of and modeling of and principles of what interpretation is about I never would have known in my career with New York State Parks. So, it's like my heart is with all of you and NAI and the incredible intelligence and sharing and leadership that everybody's given, and positive energy. Now, this has been a tough week. Maybe there's a few of out there that are cheering, but this has been a tough week for many of us. Yet, wow, I couldn't think of a better place to be, except maybe with my wife, she's watching right now on FaceTime. Hey, sweetie. Then with such a positive group of people, we responded with total positivity. Well, also denial too, when we get home then. So, okay, so I really want to thank some individuals too. Let me see, what else did I write here? This was the history's most misunderstood characters. So it was canceled, so I wrote my speech on it. What did I want to say? There was another thing here too. Okay, I want to thank Ray Novotny for nominating me for this. I mean, there's so many. Yes, thank you, Ray. And Bruce Beerbower, who is also an award recipient last year for writing letter support, and Kathleen Damiani, who hired me at New York State, Finger Lakes region of New York State Parks in 1979, wrote a really nice supportive letter. And what else I was going to say? Anyway, thank you all. So, I wanted to say that I know there are a lot of retired people in this room, and some of you have been given workshops, and I've just been talking to you, and you've done a lot of service and so forth. You're all outstanding, and some of you are continuing your careers well after traditional retirement age, and I say go for it. You love what you're doing, do it that way, whatever, but follow your bliss and be true to your heart, because you haven't got a lot of time left, maybe. So, well, I won't go any deeper into that, but so finish up. Jubilation!